Most people think getting stopped at TSA is about doing something wrong. But here's the thing. When medication is involved, most travelers get pulled aside because of how they packed it, not what they packed. They didn't do anything illegal. They just never learned the stress-free way to carry it through. I've been flying for work for more than 20 years, and I've watched these same few medication mistakes slow people down over and over. So today, I'm going to walk you through the mistakes I see most and the simple system I use so that my many medications make it through security, and so do I, without the stress. And if you use liquid medication, stick around to the end for a bonus tip on how to keep your liquid meds leak-free. Let's get into it. Before we start, I want you to know that none of this is about beating the system. The goal isn't to get away with something. The goal is to make your travel day feel calmer. And the fastest way to feel calm at security is to give the officers exactly what they need to see before they have to ask for it. Think of your medication like any other part of your travel system. When it's organized, everything moves faster. When it's scattered, everything slows down. And most of these mistakes come from one simple thing. We don't treat medication like it's part of the system at all. We treat it like an afterthought. So let's fix that. Mistake number one, and this is the one I see people regret the most. Essential medication goes in your personal item, never in your checked bag. And I mean never, because checked bags get delayed, they get lost. Even your carry-on can get gate checked when the overhead bins fill up. And when that happens, your medication goes with them. And you cannot get it back mid-trip. Now, I'm not talking about backup vitamins or the extra bottle of ibuprofen. I'm talking about the things you cannot go without and would be a pain to replace. Things like insulin, blood pressure medication, daily prescriptions, an inhaler, or an EpiPen. Those should stay with you under the seat in front of you where you can reach them the entire travel day. And here's the rule to remember. If losing it would ruin your trip, it belongs under the seat. And that's not just for medication, that's your passport, your wallet, your phone, but medication is the one people forget the most because we pack it the same way we pack everything else. But medication is not everything else. It's the one thing on the list that you can't replace at the airport gift shop. Mistake number two, not having one home for all of your non-liquid medication. Now, the solution to this mistake differs depending on where you're traveling. If you're traveling domestically within the US, then a pill organizer is your best friend. For all non-liquid medications, you want to get a travel pill organizer that fits your needs for the length of your trip, plus a few extra days just in case. This simple little guy is part of a larger set I use whenever I have surgery and dealing with lots of medication. But if it's a quick work trip, one of these usually works. Whereas if I'm spending a week at the beach, I might end up bringing two. This works for me because my meds are different colors, so combining them into the same little container isn't going to cause me any issues and I won't risk a mix-up. But if you have different meds for the AM and PM, your meds look similar, and you really want the assistance to go the extra step in keeping everything organized, then this bad boy is going to be your best friend. Again, we're still just talking domestic travel at this point. Here you can see there are little resealable pouches and so you can put all of your meds for a given day together, so it's already separated for you. We also have AM and PM pouches, and it all folds up into this cute little soft carry case. All right, I'm gonna link everything you see in the description so you can easily pick it up if you'd like. And when everything is in one easy to access pill organizer, the officer can see it at a glance, they don't have to dig, and when they don't have to dig, you don't get the full bag search. And it's not about hiding anything, it's actually the opposite. It's about making your medication so easy to see that it stops being a question at all. Clean, quick, no drama. Now, liquid medications are different, and we're gonna cover those in mistake number 5. And real quick, if you love to travel but you're done with it feeling stressed, exhausting, or uncomfortable, subscribe. Every week we share practical ways to make travel easier and more comfortable, especially in midlife and beyond. All right, now back to mistakes. If you're traveling internationally, you're going to need your medication pill bottles with the medication label on it. Which brings us to mistake number 3, and this is where confident travelers still get caught. The label. Here's the short version. Flying within the United States, you have a lot of freedom. Pill organizers, fine. Like we just talked about, your daily doses sorted into a weekly container is completely okay. TSA's official guidance actually allows this. But the moment you cross a border, everything gets stricter. And the country you're landing in doesn't care about your explanation. They care about what they can verify in about 10 seconds. That means the original pharmacy label on the original bottle. Not a photo on your phone, not a note in your bag, literally on the bottle. And when you fly internationally, all of your meds should get packed in a single clear pouch with any printed backup prescriptions you're bringing as well. This is important because I've even had international airport security agents look up my medication online, specifically my liquid medication, to make sure it was actually legit. Trust me when I say they will not take your word for it. So here's my system. When I travel domestically, I use whatever's easiest. Again, organizers or pre-sorted pouches, whatever keeps my routine simple. But when I leave the country, I keep everything in the original labeled bottles. It adds a little bit of bulk, but it removes a lot of risk. And honestly, that trade is always worth it because the goal isn't just getting through security here in the US, the goal is also getting through security at the other end too. Mistake number 4, and this one is a little different because it's a mistake you make before you even get to the airport. A lot of travelers assume their pill organizer is going to cause a problem, so they either don't bring it, or they overthink it, or they leave their medication half packed out of worry. So let me clear that up. As we've already mentioned a couple times, domestically within the US, a pill organizer is perfectly fine. You do not need everything in the original bottle to fly within the US. I've done it for decades. Now, and I said this a minute ago, but it's worth repeating, international is a different story. Original labels. But for a domestic flight, your weekly organizer is not going to get you flagged. Here's the thing, the anxiety you feel about your non-liquid medication at security is almost always worse than the actual process. Most of the time, nobody even looks twice. And when they do look, it's because something about the packing made them look, not because you did something wrong. So don't let worry turn into overcomplicating. Pack it the calm way, and I promise it stays calm. Mistake number 5, and this is the one people get wrong the most, liquids. And as someone who travels with liquid medication, I feel like it is my duty to spread the message far and wide on how to do this easily. You've heard the TSA rule. Everything has to be 3.4 ounces or less, all in one quart-size bag. But here's the exception almost nobody knows. If the liquid is medically necessary, it can be larger. Liquid prescription medication, contact solution, even the ice pack keeping your insulin cold are all allowed over the limit. But there is a condition, and this is where people mess up. It has to be separated. It can't be buried in your regular liquids bag. It needs its own bag ready to be screened on its own. Also, you need to keep your liquid medication in its original packaging regardless of where you're traveling, even domestically. They will need proof that what you have is medically necessary. And to do that, they need to see it in its original packaging. And personally, I take packing liquid medication one step further and pack it inside a Ziploc bag. And then I put it in a separate, easy to access place on my personal item so that it's super easy to take out of my bag before it goes through security, and just as easy to shove back in once I'm on the other side. For me, that's a side pouch of my personal item. Ideally, I want to take it out and put it back in without having to open the main part of my personal item. I have found this to be the fastest, most efficient way to get through security. And when you get to the checkpoint, you want to take the bag out and set it into the bin separately right next to your personal item. And you want to say one sentence. I have liquid medication in this bag. And then I point to my little plastic Ziploc sitting in the corner of the bin. That one sentence and finger point changes everything. Now there are no surprises, and most often it'll get through without getting pulled. But there will be times when your bin will get pulled because they've decided to run it through their little machine with the lasers just to make sure there's nothing nefarious inside the bottle. But because you've separated the medication and it's sitting outside of your personal item, this whole process takes no time at all. They won't have any reason to open your personal item. They're just going to grab a Ziploc bag, and go do their thing. Easy peasy. And if you are carrying liquid medication, I recommend you to always assume that it's going to get pulled. That way you purposely add just a little extra time to get through security just in case. Oftentimes you're not going to need it, but when you do, you're going to be really happy that you gave yourself some more time. Right, mistake number 6. You've got your medication in the right bag, but it's buried. Think of your personal item like a drawer. The things you need most often should be easiest to reach. And here's the part people forget. You may need your medication at like the worst possible moment. Maybe it's a dose you take at a specific time and you're mid-flight and the seatbelt sign is on. Maybe you need it right after landing and the aisle is chaos. You do not want to be digging through your entire bag to find out. So here's what I do. The medication pouch sits right at the top of my personal item inside the zipper pouch at the top, or if it's just this little slim thing, then on a work trip, then I put it outside my compartment next to my liquid bottle. Never at the bottom and not even in the middle of my bag, because either at the top or the side. Because when I need it, I know I need it like now. And I don't know about you, but whenever I need to dig something out from the bottom of my bag when I'm traveling, I seem to be incapable of doing so without unpacking the entire whole dang thing. So a little organization up front makes the whole day feel easier. And that is the point. Mistake number 7, staying silent at the checkpoint. And honestly, this is the one that separates smooth travelers from stressed ones. You want to speak first. Most people stand there quiet, hoping nothing gets flagged. But when it comes to medication, saying nothing can actually slow things down. So say it early and say it every single time. If it's something other than liquid medication, because again, that should always come out, simply say, I have medical items in my bag. Do you want me to take them out? That's it. Now you're not hiding anything and you're helping them do their job faster. And here's the thing most people don't realize. Officers hear this all day long. It is completely normal to them. It's not a confession, it's just information. And they're likely going to have a follow-up question. So if it's your travel CPAP or medication packed with ice, whatever it is, let them know and they'll tell you if you should pull it out or not. And if your bag does get pulled aside, and sometimes it will for just no reason at all, just stay calm. A flag just means they need a closer look. It's not trouble. Here's what makes it go quickly. Everything visible, everything organized, everything in one place. Rushing, looking nervous, acting impatient, that's just going to draw more attention. So slow down, answer clearly, and you'll be back in the line before you know it. The goal isn't to avoid every question. The goal is to be so calm and clear that the questions don't feel like a problem. Mistake number 8, and this is the one that catches even seasoned travelers. Assuming your medication is fine everywhere because it's fine here. It's not always. Some medications that are totally normal in the United States are restricted or even banned in other countries. And the country you're landing in doesn't care that your doctor prescribed it here. They care about what's legal there. So the rule is simple. I check the destination before I pack. 10 minutes of research saves you a very unpleasant conversation at arrival. The easy way to do this is to check the embassy or consulate website for the country you're visiting. They publish exactly what's restricted and what documentation you need. Some countries even want a letter from your doctor or a copy of your prescription for certain medications. It's a super small step, but it can turn a trip-ruining surprise into a non-event. And that's what this whole system is about, handling the details before they become drama. Mistake number 9, and this is the mistake you make before anything even goes wrong. Having no backup. Because here's the thing, medication is the one thing on your trip that you can't replace if it gets lost, stolen, or left behind. And calm travel doesn't happen because everything goes perfectly. It happens because you've built little systems that help you recover when things just don't go well. So here's my backup system, and I promise it's simple. First, I carry a small emergency supply, just a few days worth, just in case. Second, I keep a photo of my prescription label and a doctor's note on my phone. Third, I know the generic name of everything I take because brand names differ around the world. If I had done this previously, brought a backup supply, when all the flights got canceled and I was literally stranded on a tropical island, I could have stayed a few extra days in paradise with Delta paying the bill until they were able to get me on a new flight. But because I failed to bring extra medication that I wasn't going to be able to source on the island. I had to find a way home using random tiny little airlines, island hopping until I could get to a major carrier that could bring me home. I missed out on extending my vacation for free, all because I forgot to bring some backup. But I can say that I learned my lesson and I have never made that mistake again. And now I'm just waiting for another opportunity for a free vacation extension. Delta, hear me? All right, now for your bonus tip. As someone who travels with liquid medication, the requirement to keep your medication in the prescription bottle can seem like a punishment because these bottles are notorious for causing leaks. The trick is you don't want to have the bottle on its side when you're on the plane. This trick is simple and has helped me stay leak-free for years. Once you board the plane and sit in your seat, take your medication out of your personal item with the plastic bag and all, and stuff it right inside the seat back pocket in front of you. Then you just leave it there for the entire flight and only return it back to your personal item after the plane has touched down at your destination. I know, deceptively simple. And I have not had to deal with a sticky liquid mess since I started this very simple routine. All right, now it's time for the recap rundown. The mistakes to avoid when you fly with medication. 1, checking essential medication instead of keeping it under the seat. 2, scattering your medication across multiple bags instead of one clear pouch. 3, ditching the original label when you're traveling internationally. 4, letting worry about pill organizers turn into overcomplicating. 5, getting liquid medication wrong instead of separating it and declaring it. 6, burying your medication at the bottom of your bag. 7, staying silent at the checkpoint instead of speaking first. 8, skipping the destination research before an international trip. And 9, having no backup plan. Get those 9 right and security stops being something to survive and becomes just another step in your day. If you've got a medication or medical travel question I didn't cover, let me know in the comments. I read every one and I'll answer the most common ones in a follow-up. And if you know somebody who flies with prescriptions or insulin, send them this video. It might save them a stressful day at security. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.